Hi, good morning, participants. So my name is Alanka Manrik. I am a research officer here at the TTMA and the TTMA webinar coordinator. So I'm just allowing participants a bit more time to enter the room, and we will start the session shortly. Team, so when you're ready to start, you're free to proceed.
Okay, great. All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is DOlivera. I'm a managing partner at Valenta Caribbean. I've had 25 years building out ICT managed services businesses across the region. Three of the largest ICT managed services companies today. I've had executive involvement over the years in building them out. And I came across Valenta a couple months ago. And they are a leading digital transformation business. And the technology that they use was extremely exciting to me. And for me, it's extremely game-changing to every industry that we operate in, every functional area. And I wanted the opportunity to share that with all of you, to share how this technology could be utilized. Today, we'll be looking at initially the finance and HR space. But once again, it can be used anywhere, any business, any functional area. And the key requirements for using it are look at processes within your business that are mundane, monotonous, high volume, structured processes that people use their computer to do. And we can use technology and use software robots to do those processes more efficient, more accurate 24/7, and essentially saving the company significant amount of cost, improving efficiency, and also improving customer and employee experiences, which we'll talk about. I would like to introduce Jayesh Kasim, who's the founder of Valenta Global, and he will start the presentation and I will support him. Jayesh?
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, David. And thanks everyone for making it to our webinar this morning. I'm going to share my screen in a moment and we'll go. Just give me 1 second. Great. You should all be able to see my screen in a moment. David, can you just give me a yes when you've got it?
Yep, looking good.
Fantastic. All right, everyone. So in terms of, what we do at Valenta, to summarize it, we help businesses increase profitability. We do this by optimizing processes, implementing automation, and implementing staff augmentation. Everything really starts off with having the right process, right? And in our business, when we look at a process optimization, we really try and take a focus of how optimized is the process so things can be automated. That is, things that can be done by a bot instead of a human, right? And for things that cannot be done by a bot, that's when we provide the human piece as well and close the loop. So, the 4 areas that we focus on in our business is the consulting area, which is the process optimization, digital transformation, which is quite broad. And in today's presentation, we're just going to focus on 3 areas, which we'll cover off. The staff augmentation that I mentioned, where we provide people for things that cannot be performed by bot, and finally training. So especially when you're implementing or going down the digital transformation journey, there's going to be change management as well, and that's where we can provide the training support and learning support for everyone within the organization as well. As a company, we started off 8 years ago in Australia, and since then we've expanded to different parts of the world. Today we operate in about 17 countries, and we have a growing presence. I'm personally located in Toronto. However, I've already been to Trinidad and Tobago, been a Port of Spain in particular for about 4 times this year, looking at spending some time in Tobago as well next year. But I'm going to be there again next month. So we're heavily invested in the region. We do have a service delivery center in the city as well, in the waterfront building just beside the Hyatt. We have about 25 team members over there right now, and we expect to have about 100 by the end of this year. So, for the purpose of today's presentation, we wanted to focus on 3 areas of automation. The first one being robotic process automation, and this is where we implement bots that can perform repetitive tasks that are typically done by a human, right? Anything that's repetitive, that's manual in nature, that's really where an RPA bot comes in. The second one is the AI data extraction cognitive solution. And this is all about reading documents, whether it is structured or unstructured, extracting them and then going through the next process. And finally, conversational AI. This is all about omnichannel communication. So this is where we can text, WhatsApp, email, call, and do everything at the same time. So, and when we combine these three technologies, we create a hyper automation solution. And 8 out of 10 times, that's really the outcome as well of these. We are a technology agnostic business. That being said, when we look at the RPA space, one of the solutions that we implement a lot is UiPath. And you can see with all the research houses, be it Forstner, Gartner, Everest, and so on, UiPath is always rated very, very high. So there are really three manufacturers or technology manufacturers for robotic process automation that lead in space: UiPath, Automation Anywhere, and Blue Prism. Now we have expertise in all these solutions, and we'll implement what the clients need. In some cases, if the clients have a preference, we'll go with that. A lot of times, or in some instances, we've had situations where some clients may have already procured infrastructure that have been sold to them by a reseller and are stuck with it because they're not sure on how to use it. And that's really when we come in, we look at it, and it doesn't matter what the technology is, because we'll have the capability to handle that piece. When we look at where these solutions can be implemented in an organization, it's really every department, right? Today we've got some videos that we want to play and show you as well. And they're really focused on the finance side as well as the HR side. But, it could be in logistics, it could be in contact centers, it could be in legal, you name it, it's there. And this is really where, David can come in. I'm more than happy to assist as well. We can come in and we can help identify, scope those engagements for you as well. When we look at it in the finance side, when we look at some of the stats, 7 out of 15 banks in the EMEA region have already started this journey. 13 out of 20 in the US, and 9 out of 20 in the Asia Pacific region. But what it really comes back to is, in the past, with any of these solutions, they always start off with enterprise level, right? That's where you have the likes of AccessShares or Infosys and so on that will go and offer these or introduce these concepts and solutions to enterprise level customers. And they usually cost a few million, just to even scope out the engagements. And then it gets into, you're looking at 50, 60 upwards in terms of implementing these projects. And it takes years to get them going as well. We've taken a completely different approach in that we offer it as a managed service, and David will touch on the commercials and how soon we can deploy these solutions as well towards the later part of this presentation. Some of the benefits obviously is there's going to be reduced costs. At the same time, there's going to be improved compliance and regulations as well, because of what's not going to make any errors, right? When it comes to customer experience or even internal stakeholder experience, you can sort of design the journeys and not be reliant on humans to perform it. So once again, it enhances that. Using a lot of the data, making it available in real time can help identify opportunities to grow and increase revenue streams as well. And finally, being able to scale up an organization without having to add people or infrastructure is another benefit as well. So there are so many different ways in which this can be used to enhance or to achieve the business's objectives.
Yeah, Jayesh, just let me add. This solution is not limited to enterprise class customers. We have customers with as little as 10 employees that are seeing substantial benefits of implementing this solution, and the return on investment that people are seeing is in weeks and months, not in years as traditional IT implementations normally have.
Absolutely. And the way our teams would work, in programming these bots would be a matter of seeing how it's being done, and then we get the bots to think, and then we get the bots to do, right? So that's really a very, very simple approach that we sort of take. And if we understand, the organization's strategy or the path and what they would like to achieve, then we can come back with a strategy with recommendations on the automation side in particular as to how that can be achieved. An example, if an organization wants to save 50 million or 5 million in operational costs, it may mean automating 50 processes a year, right? Now, for example, if the organization wants to reduce the turnaround time for certain processes, it may mean getting 100 bots implemented within a period of 6 months. So we're more than happy to come in, understand what those pain points are or what the business wants to achieve. We can then look at the processes and come back with a strategy to help achieve those outcomes as well. Some of the other benefits is obviously there is cost savings, there's business agility, there's customer satisfaction, compliance, the flexibility, especially in our model being a managed service, 100% accuracy, and obviously productivity gain as well, because a bot can easily do, what 5 to 8 times of what an individual will do based on complexity.
Yeah. Jayesh, just let me add on the benefits as well that don't come up a lot. Most people tend to think that, implementing these bots means, displacing staff, whereas that is a potential for cost reduction. What we've been seeing is staff are actually elated to have this technology implemented in some of the implementations we've been doing in the last couple of weeks, because it's changing the way that they work. It's getting rid of all the boring tasks that they do today and allowing them to focus on more exciting, high-value tasks to the organization, and obviously allows them to elevate themselves within a business, doing these value activities that a business wants. So, the feedback has been very exciting, and the engagements have been very exciting from people within the business, which for me was quite shocking as well, because you would expect that this is seen as a negative thing. It's not. It's very, very positive for the business. It's positive for the customer, and it's positive for the employee.
Great, thanks, David. And when we think about, how the adoption usually works is it'll start off with a targeted use case. Once it's done, it then goes into a department expansion, and then it goes into the enterprise-wide. So I'm going to play a few videos here. I'm going to mute the video. I'm just going to talk you through it as well. So what you're going to see in this particular video in a moment is a bot that is going to log into a software application that would typically be done by a human. So this is everything on the screen is now being done by a bot. Now, this is an online application, which is a finance application. And you're seeing the bot now reconciling all the transactions. The bot has been programmed to reconcile these transactions in quite a few ways. One being a direct match where it's quite easy to identify, and it's some being coded. And while the others, it's going to look at the invoice, it's going to match the figures, it's going to match the amounts, the dates, the invoice numbers, and so on as well, and then match these transactions. Now, obviously, when a bot is doing this, it's doing it 5 to 8 times faster than the human. It's going to do this with 100% accuracy. And more important than anything, it can work 24/7, right? So think about the effectiveness of having books reconciled in real time. That's again one of the benefits here provided by bot. David, is there anything you'd like to add on this particular video?
No, I think at the end of the day, the efficiency of the bot, is significant, and the 24/7 operation is critical because, when most people are working 8 to 5, bot can be scheduled and be working on multiple processes. So a bot doesn't only do one process. It can do multiple processes throughout a day. And when you come in the next morning, they're all done. The processes that may take, 2-3 days, a bot may be able to execute those processes in a couple of minutes and then do other processes sequentially, improving the overall efficiency of the operation.
Yeah, and this is just one application. This is a cloud-based application, right? However, if a bot needs to log in to a desktop application, that's absolutely fine as well. The bot would log into the application exactly like how a human would, right? So it all just comes back to creating logins for the bot and providing access to the system, and that's really all that's required. Now, if there was a situation where the bot had to look into another system to have a look at bank statements, for example, it can do that, right? There's potential possible. It can potentially go download those statements, import it in here, reconcile. That's also a possibility. If it needs to read invoices or purchase orders from another area or another system, that's possible as well. So there are so many possibilities. And if there is a transaction that is unknown or which is slightly complex where it's come about the first time, the bot would just put them as an exception. The human in the loop would clarify the exception, and then the bot learns from that, so it doesn't ask the same question the next time around. When we get started with the process, we'll map an as-is process, very similar to what you're seeing on the screen. If the organization already has it, great, we'll use it. If not, we'll map it, and then we create a to-be process flow as well, and we provide that to you. So it's great even in terms of updating documentation within the business. And this next video here is all about data extraction. So I'm going to fast track this video a bit. But what you're going to see over here on the left is about 200 invoices in PDF format. And in this video is about 2 to 3 minutes. And in less than this period of time, you'll see all the information from these invoices being extracted. As you can see, it's taking place right now. So once it's extracted, it's going to put everything into an Excel file. Now, that Excel file is going to look similar to this. Now, when we look at what's happening over here is there's several invoices from different suppliers that have all come out into an Excel file, right? Now, from here, there could be several things that take place. There could be some complex calculations that are being performed within this Excel file. There could be graphical representations and so on that the business may need. It could also mean once it's extracted, it's then imported into an accounting platform, right, for further processing. So there are several different use cases. This could be used not only for invoices, it could be used for purchase orders, it could be looked at the HR space for resumes, extracting things from resumes. You name the application, it's sort of there. What's really good about this technology as well and the way it has evolved is if you look at this particular invoice, you see the tax invoice number is on the top right. If another supplier had it at the bottom left or anywhere else, it doesn't matter, the bot will be able to pick it up. So it's not looking at a particular area in the invoice, it's looking for a field and it's extracting it from the document itself. So that's really a piece of the cognitive AI side. David, is there anything you'd like to add on this one before I move to the next?
On the extraction side, what's amazing is the speed and accuracy at which the bot is able, to do that. And what we do, we combine the extraction with the analytics, so we can do the end-to-end process. So after the data is extracted, we can do a lot of the high-end analytics of that data, and then pass it on to a human to do the final reviews and so forth on that data. So that entire process, is reduced probably 80 to 90%. Like we had a similar customer we're now doing it for in the forwarding business, and they have, I think it's 500 documents coming in every single day, invoices from customers and suppliers and so forth. And we are doing that in a couple of minutes. So it's allowed them to improve the quality of their service to customers, and the turnaround time has dramatically improved as a result of this.
Thanks, David. And now we'll move on to conversational AI. So on the conversational AI, if you look at the top right of the screen now, what you're going to see is a text message being triggered at a particular instance. And in this case, it is to collect a payment. So that's great. Now from a text message, this is going to go into a secure payment gateway. A payment is going to be collected. But what happens then is the bot asks if the user wants assistance with anything else. And in this case, the user says yes, they want to set up an appointment. And the bot sets that appointment up as well. So you can see how it's going from one customer journey to another. And along the way, what's happening as well is the language, you can sort of see the language that people are typing in. It's in it's a natural language, right? Makes it very easy for customers as well. And at the same time, there's a lot of validation that's taking place as well, right? The card validation, in this, if you had to have the person verified, that's possible as well. It's going to ask questions, it's going to check at the back end, it can validate people as well. So thinking about banking use cases and so on as well, where you have to protect individuals' identification and just make sure you're releasing information or dealing with the right people. There are all things that can be done by the bot itself. So if I fast track this a little bit, you can sort of see that the appointment is being booked as well right now. So once again, plenty of use cases. We'll be more than happy to walk you through a lot of these and more based on your business requirements as well, but in one-on-one sessions. And by the way, once the appointment is confirmed, it will also send out an email confirming that, right? It can send reminders, and if it needs to update a backend system, it can take care of that as well. So once again, it closes the entire loop. And in this one here, I'm going to let I'm going to leave the audio on so you can hear, but what you're going to see over here is an omnichannel where you have voice, text message, email, all taking place at the same time. And this can obviously be customized to your particular business requirement.
Thank you for calling PepsiCo's deflection box. How can I help you?
Yeah, I'm looking for some coupons.
To find coupons for your favorite PepsiCo products, respond with your email to the text message I am about to send you. I'll stay on the line so we can talk on text and phone at the same time.
Great. You can text me and talk to me at the same time. That's pretty cool. Okay, got the text message. Give you my email address now. Okay, there you go.
Perfect. I just sent your coupons to your email. Do you need help with anything else?
No, I'm all set.
Cool. So, that's an example of how, the omni-channel piece can potentially work. One of the questions we do get asked is, how does it deal with different accents and so on as well? And, people, when they make a call, they really don't want to be speaking to a bot as well, right? And we completely get that. And that's really where designing the journey is quite important, right? Designing the journey, making sure that they're either getting a call back in the shortest period of time, or they're getting text messages, or they're getting answers to the reasons why they're calling, and reducing the frustration as well, right? And this is, again, where we have a lot of experience in designing those journeys, and we'll be more than happy to build those for you. And finally, this last piece here, this is a bot integrated into Microsoft Teams, and this is for an HR process. So in here, you're seeing an employee now asking a question, is Monday a holiday? Now, what's going to happen is, if the bot knows the answer, it's going to clarify it straight away for the individual user. But if the bot doesn't, it's going to ask the HR team. The HR team is going to clarify it for the bot, and the bot is going to answer it in this within Teams. So, and what's going to happen in this journey is that the bot's going to learn. So if the next employee or anybody else within the organization asks a question, it's not going to go to the HR team. So you can see how it's reducing the work for the HR team in terms of answering these kind of questions, but also increasing the employee experience wherein it's getting done instantly for them. Now, these same solutions can be used within within WhatsApp. It can be used within with a text message and so on as well, making it very, very easy for employees. There are several ways on how these things take place today, but there's always room to sort of improve that experience. And once again, if we look at what your current HR systems and processes are, we can recommend very, very smart conversational AI solutions, all the way from the recruitment of employees through to their performance management, etc. David, anything you'd like to touch on the conversational AI side?
Yeah, for me, this is probably one of the most game-changing areas as far as customer experience and employee experience. Most traditional systems today are very static. They allow the customer to ask specific information and they give a specific answer, right? And most customers hate using it. They want to talk to a human. What this does is bridges that gap. First of all, the bot, and we'll show you in a while, one of the avatar bots, which takes it to a whole different level. The bot knows by interacting with people, and every single time they interact, what is the next potential thing the customer want or the employee is going to want to ask, and they proactively ask that. So the customer may ask for a bank balance as an example, and the bot may say, this is your bank balance, but by the way, would you also be interested in this? Would you also be interested in this? And they're able to utilize not just the omnichannel or the different mediums, but integrate with the different systems within your business to give that real time to the customer. So the experience of dealing with them is as good as or better than dealing with a human and not having to wait for a human to pick up a phone, right? So they start using the technology a lot more. They start getting the information they want. And it can also be used as an upselling tool within your business to maybe upsell different products. I noticed you don't have a credit card with us. Would you be interested in seeing some of the benefits that we offer with our service? And the bot sends the information, they send a video, they send a link. So that interaction becomes very human, and it makes the experience a lot better. And as I said before, it's not just customers. Employees are also using this in the HR function, in the communication function within a business to get information from within the business as well.
Great. Thanks, David. So in terms of next steps and how we usually get started is we do a process walkthrough. So in this meeting, this is really where we'll record a screen and we ask that the individual that's performing the task or the subject matter expert walk us through the process, right? Exactly how it's being done right now. Once that's done, we'll then create a project plan and share it with you. It's an online system that we use, very easy to use, but you can sort of see where things are in real time. From there, we go and create a process design document. This is done by our business analyst team with all the keystrokes. Once that's done, we send it off, we work with you on sign off. Once that's signed off, that really says, yes, this is exactly what the process is and we want the bot to do. From there, it goes to the development team who will take care of designing the solution, coding the bot, getting it ready. And we then do user acceptance testing where we show you how the bot is actually performing the work. And once you're happy with that, we go live. And what we always tell our clients as well is think big, but start small. Let's try and get those quick wins, get the business confidence up, and then work through larger and more complex processes as well. And going to go into the commercials, and I'm going to get David to touch on this piece.
Yeah, so I think this is one area that differentiate us from a lot of the bigger consultancy companies and engagements. What we do, we try to minimize the impact of actually going forward with this. Most companies in the IT project, they have to go through a very long, lengthy process of justifying it, doing the ROI, doing presentations to the executive and board, getting the approvals, getting budget, and so forth. We try to avoid all of those processes and actually get the results quickly to the customer, let them test it, and if they like it, then they go forward with the service. So we normally start off with a proof of concept. And as I said, the proof of concept allows you to actually implement the solution. And our implementation times are usually between 2 to 4 weeks as compared to 18 to 24 months of traditional IT projects. Yeah. So we would come, we would scope out the project with you, we would build it out, we train the bot to be able to deliver it. And then you go through user acceptance testing. And if you like it, you go live. And then once you go live, you start paying us a monthly fee for that service. And we manage the entire operations end to end. So if you need changes, we can make the changes for you at no additional cost. So all of it included for the life of the service. And we keep it up and running for you. We can either host it in our global data centers, highly securely, or if you want to host it on site, we can also have models where we can host it for you on site as well. So you have those benefits. From a commercial standpoint, the fixed monthly fee is $6,000 a month per bot, but each bot comes with 5 processes. So you can do 5 processes, and a process is an end-to-end function. So a process may be accounts receivable function. A process may be a bank reconciliation, right? So everything happens end-to-end to complete that process is seen as the scope of that process. When the 5 processes are up, you can add additional 5 processes to that same bot, depending on the capacity of the bot. And the cost of adding additional 5 processes is $1,500 a month for those 5 processes. Now, your limiting factor on the bot is the scheduling of the bot. The bot works 24/7. So you may have one process that takes 20 minutes. You have another process may take 3 hours, right, based on it. And depending on how you schedule those processes over a 24-hour period, you can have 10, 15, 20 processes on a bot. And when that bot is full, as far as scheduling, you can add another bot to that. And every 5 bots you add, you get an additional 5% discount on all of the annual recurring costs for that. So if it's 5 bots, you get 5%. If it's 10 bots, it's 10%. If it's 20 bots, you get 20% off of the monthly fee. So basically, it's a reducing cost for that. And then there's a one-time installation fee for the bot, which works out to roughly 3 times the monthly management fee. And then the last and most important thing for Trinidad is that the government now has a digital transformation incentive, and they provide 150% tax incentive for any digital transformation services. So if you look at the $6,000, and let's just say you add an additional 5 processes, that's $7,500 a month for 10 processes. That's $750 US per process per month. With the tax incentive, that falls to $375 per process per month. So $375 to transform a complete element of your business where you will get returns probably 24 or 34 is a no-brainer for most customers. So the bot actually pays for itself. So the approvals within the company to get this up and running are extremely fast because obviously you're either generating additional revenue, you're improving customer experience, or you're reducing costs. And we help you with those ROIs as part of the engagement so you can get your approvals to move it forward. But literally, customers that we've been engaging, as soon as up and running live, they immediately go on and then they come back and say, okay, what's the next process? What's the next process? And it normally starts in maybe one area of a business, maybe finance or HR, which are the highest automation potential areas. And then once people start seeing it, they evolve it to all the other elements of the business, all the other functional areas. And you start seeing the entire business start looking at it at a holistic manner from there. On the conversational AI, it's fairly similar, but part of $6,000 is utilization costs based on text messaging, number of pages, and so forth. But what we've seen is that, give or take, it works out to roughly $6,000 total, same as the RPA bot for the combination of the fixed fee and the utilization fee. So maybe $4,000 for the fixed fee, $2,000 for the utilization, come up to $6,000, which works out the same way. And once again, you can have multiple processes with a bot, so that cost just goes down the more processes that you implement with it. And then the last part is the data extraction, which is a page cost, which is very, very insignificant. And if you need RPA processes to support that data extraction, you use one of the processes from the existing bot to do that. So from a commercial standpoint, what we've seen that this is a no-brainer. Of all the meetings we've had in the last 2 months, almost every customer has immediately moved to proof of concept. So after engaging them from that first meeting, within the next couple of days or the next week, we are actually scoping out proof of concepts. Because the buy-in has been so significant and they see the return on investment. Once again, it's weeks and months, not years with traditional systems. Jayesh?
Yeah, so and just some stats over here that we'd like to share as well is for every dollar that is spent on infrastructure, there's actually $3.50 that is spent on services to making this work. There's a license fees, there's people, right, that really go behind all of this as well in making all of this work as well. So that's a ratio just to keep in mind there. And some other stats as well, right? So while 94% believe that AI can give them the advantage, only 50% have had success. Now, we work with organizations globally, and usually there are 2 main issues that come about. One is that they don't have the resources to execute these projects, and secondly, if they do have the resources, there is a knowledge gap, and rightly so, because this entire piece is very, very new globally as well, right? And that's really where reducing the risk by engaging a managed service provider like us increases that success rate drastically. While the promise, where 62% may have deployed a strategy, only 13% have been able to scale it beyond a certain point. And with that, I'm just going to play one last video from my YouTube channel for you all to have a look at. So give me a moment while I bring that up. But it's very, very, it's futuristic. It's really in terms of all the possibilities out there. So I'm going to get that screen in just one moment for you.
Welcome to Valenta AI.
Yeah, so this video is going to show what I talked about creating an avatar for customers to engage, and the whole customer experience is completely transformed with the avatar using it. So this is an actual. Do the one with the next one, the banking? Jayesh?
Absolutely.
Assistant.
Hello, thanks for choosing ACME Bank.
Hello.
Hello, I'm your virtual assistant Arya. I'm here to help you with our banking services.
What is my account balance?
What account do you want the balance for?
Savings account, please.
Here is your latest balance, $400.42. Would you like to know your current account balance?
Yes.
Here your current account balance, $274.
I would like to go to the FAQ page. Can I know about credit card alerts?
Yes, you can subscribe for the following alerts through ACME Bank. Payment, due date, reminder card approaching credit limit.
Can you please take me to the bank tour?
Here is a video to basic banking.
Click on I'm done watching. Thank you.
Thank you for contacting ACME Bank.
Right. So what we've seen is, the complete change to the way
For more
things are done today.
information, please visit.
Yeah. So it's a proactive engagement with the customer, fundamentally transforming the experience and making it as human-like as possible without having to, utilize humans' time in doing that and having customers wait, 20, 30 minutes, an hour to just get on a phone with a human. So it's bridging the gap and make it more exciting for customers to be able to engage services of your company. And also employees, making it more exciting in overall end-to-end experience. So for me, this is transforming the way that you do business and the way customers do business with you. Yeah. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So I think we'll open up to a couple questions. I think we have some of them here. Good morning. Looks exciting. Is this a accounting application? Right. So, Jayesh, want to answer that?
Yes, Cliff, as we covered off over here as well, accounting finance is one of the areas where this really has a very, very high potential, right? Automation potential. So yeah, let's look at all the areas of finance. I'd be more than happy to look at your entire finance function right now and see how it's being structured, who's doing what in the organization, and then we'll be able to come back and sort of let you know how you can implement this within your organization. It can be all the way from, purchase order validation, having the invoices entered into the system, reconciled, and then sending it for payments as well to the right departments for approvals, right? And creating the bank transfer files as well. So it can do pretty much end-to-end as much or as little as you wish.
Right. So just to clarify, it's not an accounting application. Think of this as a solution that provides all applications you have across your business, across all processes across your business. So it's independent of whatever you may have. So whether you're an advanced company with a CRM or accounting application, Oracle or Great Plains or QuickBooks, or you just use Excel in your business, is irrelevant to us. What we're looking at is the actual process in your business that you're operating today by a human, right? And seeing how do we, first of all, optimize the process to make it more efficient? And then how do we automate the process utilizing the technology, right? So it's not an application specific to any one area. It goes across all areas, across all functions within the business. Just to be clear, is $6,000 per month plus $80,000 as a one-time fee? Yes. So that's the cost per bot, per RPA bot. And once again, that RPA bot does multiple processes, multiple functions. So you spread that cost initially over 5 processes, and for additional $1,500 per month and $4,500 one time, you get another 5, and you can add another 5, and so forth. So the cost per process exponentially reduces the more processes you have. So it makes it more and more cost effective the more you have. And the more bots you have, you get volume discounts as well. So if you are an organization with multiple companies in it and you're using it throughout all the different companies, for every 5 bots that you add, you get additional 5% off across all of your monthly costs.
And just to add here in terms of, the processes and how scheduling works, right? So think about a bot as a human, right? If a human has 8 hours of, availability a day, you would give the human multiple things to do. The same works with the bot, but the only difference is the bot does it 24/7, right? Now you could have the bot do process A from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. it's doing a completely different process, and again coming back, right? So, and there could be certain processes where you want the bot to trigger that every hour, right? So we can schedule it that way as well. So lots of cool, lots of smart, efficient solutions that we can sort of bring forward. Great.
Any other questions?
I don't think we have any more questions in the chat box at this stage.
Yeah. If anybody would like to come on and ask a question live, feel free. No.
Great. Well, thanks everyone for attending, for making it at the start of your day as well. We really appreciate it. David is based locally in Port of Spain, so please feel free to reach out to David, and then together as a team, we'll be more than happy to sort of work with you on solutions. David, perhaps if you just want to mention your mobile number over here for anyone who want to get in touch.
No problem. My number is 3839004, and my email address is david.dolivera, so that's david.dolivera@valenta.io.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye now.
All right. Thanks again. Bye.
So attendees, if you enjoyed this session, feel free to fill out the survey that would pop up on your screen at the end of the webinar to rate this webinar. And the feedback would be really much appreciated so that we could improve next year, and it would also help the speakers and Valenta to, improve on their service, or, reach back out to you as the attendees if you're interested in their session or in the product or service that they are offering. Thank you for attending, and feel free to visit our website. I'll send the link in the chat box so that you could register for other free sessions today. We have the sessions running from today until Wednesday. All of the sessions are free, so you could visit ttma.com/TIC/seminars. I'm going to send this in the chat box now.